because you are friends since long time. How did that happen? What brought you together?
So me and Ajay are from the same dental school, from Maulana Azad in Delhi. It's the top institution in India. Ajay was a few years, he joined a few years later,
Okay.
and we were both prosthodontists, so we are more or less in the same field, and under the Implant Society coming up. Ajay was the secretary, I was the founding president of the AOI.
That was how long ago?
This was in 2004.
2004.
But I think he's being too humble. We two have one thing very common. We never used to go to the classes in the school, dental school. And we always used to meet outside. And
So it was cricket and at the basketball court, I remember, and it was a lot of fun, especially maybe Thursday and Friday, if I remember, was 2 days that we was doing a lot of sport and not going to the classes at all.
And there was basketball there?
It was a basketball court, but we used to play cricket over.
Of course. And when did you meet Dr. Kuba first?
Kuber, I have met in the dental meetings, and then we had very similar ideas, working together on many projects, opinion leaders for different companies together, going to meetings internationally. So I've known him for over 20 years also. So
Yeah, and I'll just add, both of them are my seniors, and they have embraced. I was beginner, and they had a lot of experience already, and they were gracious enough to embrace me, handhold me, and help me in my career. They have played instrumental role. Now I'm also a partner with Dr. Ajay. We run a lab together. So they are great. They are very gracious to accept me as a friend and be part of the group.
let me tell you something about Kuber. He's an endodontist by specialty, but today he places more into the less of endo. And his average root canal preparation time is 17 to 25 minutes, and the implant placement time is 5 to 7 minutes. So that's what I can tell you about him. Is brilliant. His learning curve is very strong. And he's a very strong clinician.
And a reason that bring us together here is because all of you uses the Magnetic Mallet. Who was the first one to approach this to get to know about it?
I think me and Dr. Ashish and Uber were together, bought 5 equipments from you, if I were wrong. Yes. And we started 5 big, Dr. GK, Dr. Ajit, Dr. Uber, and Dr. Ashish. So 5 equipments we bought almost 5 years back, rather 6 years back.
so we just backpacked it from the meeting,
Yeah,
and we just got it in our backpacks back to India from the meeting.
I remember that.
But that was the best backpack we ever had. Absolutely. Yes.
But I think the curiosity was always there. We always used to go and visit the stalls, and somehow, maybe sometimes somebody was not able to demonstrate the technology, but we were very curious. From even before we bought it, we were very curious. So we were hovering around for 2-3 years, and every year we'll decide, and then we'll drop it, and then we'll decide, then we'll drop it. Then finally, we all came together, and
I thought there was an inhibition, Claudio, to be very honest. There was an inhibition because there wasn't much exposure, there wasn't much training. And the inhibition was, will this work in my office?
yes.
Is this something new that will come? And is it just going to lie there for next several months? But I thought we just made a collective decision at the meeting. I think it was the ideas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. And
Not only the corrective vision, he was very confident the way he was pushing it, and he gave us all the attachments. Yes, of course, all the expansion, implant erasement, wrist display. He was very generous that time. And today also I'm saying, no, I'm not saying but he had carefully and he gave us whatever in the end.
But we all were ultrasonic users.
Yes, sir.
So the contemplation was whether we are adding equipment that can trump an ultrasonic.
yes.
Because sir has been a speaker for ultrasonics, I have been ultrasonic, sir has been a speaker for ultra. So we all hardcore ultrasonic backgrounds of manipulation.
By that time, I just finished a clinical research for a company on red split, using one of the ultrasonic machines, comparing different grafts. And the data was very solid. And to change to the new technology or the existing technology, I think it's been a brilliant experience, to be very honest. I think it's a positive change, and we haven't looked back. I haven't opened my eye. Yeah.
That's what everybody gave up on piezo.
I want to say that now.
Yeah, I will tell me the way.
So
Well, you know what? I was very happy the day we met because from my experience, when you have something that works, makes sense, and it is a widespread use, because the magnetic mallet can be used by everyone, right? What you need is a critical mass of users that makes it, that gives it the right exposure and makes it obvious, right? Of course, you are pioneers. You were pioneers at the time. Now there are several hundreds of magnetic mallet more in this country, but I believe 200,000 pathologists. Okay,
Yes.
so there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
But it is the time because we all agree that the learning curve at the beginning could be faster, okay, for the instruction, the bone manipulation. But then, of course, there's much more that you can do with the magnetic mallet in terms of breaking the bone evenly, right?
Yes.
And that requires some education. What type of education would you suggest for the several hundred users in India on magnetic mallet?
I think it's just clinical applications, showing them repeated cases again and again, showing them the success and the length of success that we had, follow up for so many years, and the ease of use. So I think it's just a matter of getting them all together. And I think the group that we have on social media is really helping
Yes.
the WhatsApp group, because there's so many people who post nice cases and follow-ups, and it just evokes a new reaction or a new positivity amongst all the users and potential users. So I think we don't really need a conference as such to promote this, but small exposures, lectures, small ones, just to show. And it doesn't have to take the front seat in a conference. It is one of the adjuncts that you use to how you tackle the bone, how is the bone management done within a lecture of any topic related to implantology. You can just put in a few slides and then show your follow-ups, and then evokes interest. So this is something different. I haven't seen this before, or maybe I should try this technology, because everybody is looking for something new. Everybody is looking for something which is predictable and repeatable. So these are the three things. If we can convince our colleagues, I think it's very simple from this point onwards. Yeah.
So I would add on to it. The early days of buying the mallet coming back to India, I think second or third day, we were so excited. Did you use it? Yeah, I use it. Is it amazing? Yeah, it's amazing. What did you do? So we, in our peer group, we were sharing a lot of cases. And today we do such crazy things that you can't imagine what we can do with
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So there are a lot of crazy things you can do. Like when your confidence starts increasing, I don't do anymore a lateral window. I do a occlusal window, crustal window, and I do a whole direct sinus lift through a crustal approach, and not doing any more short. I had a dilemma: go more towards short implants or do more sinus lift, which is more predictable. Now with the mallet, of course, the sinus lifts become more predictable, and now you want to use a proper length most of the time. Bone manipulation is easier. Posterior maxilla is not a hindrance anymore. Your immediate loading protocols have become better. So there are a lot of things. But what I'm trying to tell you is, when you ask how to promote it, is actually it was how it got promoted within us is we were sharing every day because we are friends, and we are showing our cases to each other. So I think nowadays social media visibility is very important to motivate and to educate the younger dentist to come to the forefront of this technology, which I don't understand, which had been there for quite some time. and people have actually not understood the full potential. So I would always say that every Congress that we guys should do, we should always have a slide dedicated to a mallet, telling that what's the advantages. That is one thing we can do. Second, I think we should do some. The big problem in mallet is not demonstrable on the models because we don't have the perfect models to demonstrate the technology. Yes, so you need to show it on patients. So a lot of videos, a podcast like this, of course, makes curiosity among others. Like, what are we talking about? What is this technology that we're talking about? But I think smaller groups training, and Dr. Ajay has a very beautiful facility. So we can always have smaller, close contact groups. I think peer-to-peer learning with the mallet is much faster than a big conference.
More effective.
Much more effective.
Yes. The hand holding will never go. So in nutshell, I mean, social media is okay. But to clarify and for people coming from both the remote distances, they have a fear. They want to invest in this technology. They want to see the product, feel the product. So they need,
You know, when we tell somebody you might get a 500 kg thrashing to your bone, they feel that, oh, the bone might fracture. Or we might do something wrong, or we can harm the patient. But when they see us using it, it's the safest technology. So I think peer-to-peer handholding will be the most important.
Peer-to-peer. Well, there's definitely a buzz going on here because the last campaign we did for the demo units request, we had about 600 requests from Open India, okay, in 4 days. Right? That is good news, yes, but it's also responsibility because still, it's a device that it's different from what you use before that, right? It's easy, makes sense, everything we want to say, but still, you need to have an approach that is on both conservation, right? Um, Typically, we say, okay, just start with the extractions because that is what makes you familiar with the use of the handpiece, but that's a technicality. The bone is the real
It is.
game with the magnetic mallet, soft bone, and Simon's lift. So that is where everybody should try in order to have a comparison with the other devices, the other techniques. But looking at these numbers, I believe that yes, so we did the job so far. And again, remember that is when you started,
yes,
it was just a bunch of users,
a handful of users.
handful of users. Okay. Nowadays, that we distribute our product to iFix and Unicode Denmark, so is always there is an easy access to the product. Okay. Like we said, try little patient is what if she do your
Yes. But I think one good thing that you did is when we came to you, you exposed us to all the kits. See, if you would have given us a starter kit of 10 tips, it would have been a different story. We would have got a very limited, and then our take would have been a little different because we had to.
But isn't that going to confuse someone? Although these kids from the tax insertion to the crown mover and the
I think when we say that we're going to start you with mostly extractions, you have to understand the reality in India is we don't section and take out teeth atraumatically. Most of the extractions are traumatic. So the mindset of sectioning and removing is still not very well developed. But anyhow, it of course we have to evolve. We have to work for the betterment of implantology in India. But I still feel that 10 tips are focusing more on extraction rather than implantology, and there has to be a trade-off there for the first introductory kit. At least more of a sinus and an extraction kit to be, because sinus is one thing, Caucasian white population has a lot of bone, but our population, once extraction is done, we lose our sinuses pneumatize very fast.
Yeah.
So sinus is one of the big major, and it's just imagine the safety. You're moving only a millimeter at a time. So that safety, because even in drill, even if you have stopper, that final millimeter is make and break of. So I think we should modify the initial introductory kit. We have to put our brain through it. But I think we can figure out something there.
The range of instruments, that's a very wide, ample range because we have so many passionate users that they come to us with so many good ideas.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always the trade-off is to keep this rational so it doesn't scare. But when I look at what you can do, and we keep discovering things. So one of the last one was you, yes, remember that you came up with this idea. We also passionate, so we keep developing new instruments, and they believe that we will never stop doing it. Because who knows which other applications we might find out using this technology.
Also, I think when a new person or a new user is buying this technology, he should be aware that there is more than one thing he can do with it. Also, it's only not extractions or ridge split or sinus, that there is so many different possibility. So the exposure is very important because it would give that dentist, a graph for his return on his investment. Where all would he be able to use it? So that is something which is very important. So you should not restrict. At the same time, enough so that you don't confuse a new user. So it all depends on the level of the experience of the user. So that is where I think we need to draw the line. So maybe we can have for a new user a smaller kit, like a medium user, another slightly bigger, and an expanded kit for experienced users. So, or they can just pick and choose like whatever they want to do. Not everybody wants to do everything with the same instrument. So I think the freedom should be there, but the exposure is very important. So this is my feeling.
So I'll just add a little bit. The most exciting case, with Mallet, which actually blew me off, upper molar extraction, and you are placing in furcation, and you're not losing bone, you're not skidding. That was like, man, there's nothing that has given me this control. This control in an extracted upper molar and placing the implant exactly in the furcation, and the bone is expanding and filling the socket at the same time. That one experience really, I said, I can buy 1,000 equipment, but nothing can be as accurate while doing this job. And with extraction placement being a major thing now, I think Mallet is an awesome thing because you want in anterior extraction socket, you want more palatally placed implants along the palatal wall. So the control is fantastic. And the early days were the best days. It was like discovering Mallet every day, and oh, we can do this. Oh, did you see this? And we are posting cases. And me and Dr. Ajay to were almost every second day we were discussing our cases together.
How about the patients? Which are the main benefits that you see for your patients?
Zero post-op morbidity. Patient doesn't even realize that they have gone to a sinus slip. Earlier, when we used to have the manual approach, patient used to have post-op vertigo, tinnitus, and post-op swelling, and patient used to continue for 2 to 3 weeks and tell us when we used to have manual approach. Today, patient doesn't know that the procedure is done, and biggest thing is post-op swelling is not there, and the procedure is very fast. You can manipulate the bone in terms of volume and quality. Correct. And I call it hand of God, as I told audio. It's hand of God for implantology or Xander for implantology.
That's a statement. That's a powerful statement. So I had this patient last week on a Monday where she would not place an implant in a missing premolar upper because she used daddy. Because she doesn't want any saline to go in her throat and her mouth. And on Monday, I just accomplished this procedure in less than 10 minutes. And she was like, oh, it's done? Like, yeah, it's done. So that's the advantage, I think, where you can You can pick and choose these patients. You can tell them these are new technologies, proven technologies. They are not experimental. So we have data from all over the world, the multi-center uses that yes, it is working. And the pleasure of using and the satisfaction of using this to distract the bone and to put it in the area where you want it, your confidence level as a surgeon also goes up, that you know you've done the job, you know you've got the torque that you needed, you know you have the ISQ value which is high, because now you have actually distracted the bone and you condensed it and it's living bone. You know there is good bleeding over there. You know that you will get a good results. The confidence of the surgeon itself is just too good.
And also, sir, we have gone flapless for many procedures. We have become flapless for many procedures because of Mallet.
The predictability is there. Yes, I agree.
Have you seen an increase in one-step surgeries using this approach to versus
Yes. Immediate classes of implants, minimal trauma, minimal exposure, smaller flaps.
I think
That's what minimal post.
also, for implant, the best time to sell an implant is before extractions, correct? That's the time to sell the implant. To be honest, somebody says, tell me a mantra to put so that I do more implant. If you do an extraction and you wait for the healing to happen, in that time the patient explores, compares. But at the time of extraction, he's your patient and he's going to do what you want him to do. And he has not even learned to live without that tooth. So that's the time to place and sell the implant. If I am talking a little bit more commercially, I excuse myself for that. But the right time to sell the implant is before extraction. So when you are using mallet to extract, you are using mallet to put implant. So there's no switch over or crossover or debate that is happening.
what you say is absolutely true. Also in Italy, I hear this a lot. A possibility, if the conditions are there, to treat the case in one surgery, and that is what the patient wants. They want to walk out the clinic with the perception that the job is done.
Yes.
Case. For the most of its part, that is beneficial to everyone, for you as implantologist and for the patient. Huh? So I think it's a positive thing.
Positive.
Mm. Where do you see implantology going in India the next 10 years?
This is
Because here everything happens so fast.
this is just the beginning, Claudio. We haven't even seen. I just was surprised. I had a meeting with the secretary, Indian Dental Association head office, and he had data to show that only 5% of the Indian population go to the dentist.
5 out of a billion and
1.4, 1.5, or maybe 1.5. Yeah, as we're talking. So
between 1.4 and 1.5, there is 100 years. That's a lot of people. Yes, but
if only 5% are going, where are the rest going? And I think with the awareness and with the new the government programs, we will see an explosion. We haven't really seen anything as of yet. So we will see an explosion of patients coming in for oral care, not only oral care, implants, everything. And it's just good times, I think, for the profession in the next 2-3 generations. This is what I believe. So yeah, the implantology in India is getting more and more mature. The users, the clinicians are fantastic. We have the same technology which is available as the West. We are using the same implants. We are using the same biomaterials. So it should not be any less than anywhere else in the world. So I strongly believe that we have very, very good trained implantologists in India. Yes.
I confirm that. That's also the perception abroad that what's happening here in India is really becoming a driver for implantology for the next 10 years in the world because of many factors. So the many like the education, the great colleges, dental colleges that are here, the amount of work you can work. There's some countries where there's not enough people around. So 1 implant per month, 2 implants per month, because different type of population, because different type of approach. But there is a difference, no, in the amount of work. You learn faster, you have more cases, you have more ideas.
Yes.
Implement, try, and filter. So probably the combination of all of this is making India a leading country in implantology.
It is getting there,
But
of course.
Claudia, after
Also the amount, also the amount of conferences that are meeting that sometimes seems a little bit overwhelming, but that is a clear input.
yes,
It's happening.
is happening.
There's knowledge to share. There's we.
I'll tell you, after 2012, so I as an implantologist early days was not doing that amount of implants. Okay, we were doing implants, but 2012, every 4 years, the practices is actually doubling, and the amount of queries that we get for implants now, there used to be a time when we had to educate people what's an implant. Now it's reverse. The patient come to us, I want a more permanent solution. So the awareness is growing very fast. So actually, yes, we were 5% or 10% who are going to dentist, but the conversion towards implant is tremendous. And with such a big middle class and educated people, I hope a lot of good future for implantology. And there used to be a time that very few people used to claim to be implantologists. Now every second clinic wants to put an implant. So most of the clinic, how we had a endodontic revolution way back in 2006-5, I think we are in the process of implantology revolution that is happening right now. And both the gentlemen have contributed immensely because the congresses are growing, members are growing, everybody wants to be a fellow, they want to work hard for their cases, become diplomat on the boards, and tremendous contribution. And see, the best part, I don't know about whole of India, but I know north part of India is a lot of hand holding is happening and everybody is coming on board very fast. And as I was handheld by both of them, now I see I'm hand holding others and the chain is growing.
We to a lot of conversion in implantology. Yes, Ashish. Since we started this organization.
Can you please tell us a little bit about your and you already it was a very infantile stage and we used to struggle for that normal reduction hand pieces. Yeah. And today see where we have artificial intelligence, guided surgeries, digital workflows. So the today's generation is blessed. They don't have to go through all that
Yes.
trauma we have gone through always. So to procure our implants, to procure our equipment, we used to travel overseas. We used to look for the conferences overseas. We used to spend thousands of euros for traveling and buying these equipment. But today, everything.
And now you see the world class speakers all lining up for Indian congresses, and we get in one good congress 12 to 14 international good speakers. High quality speakers are started coming to India. So I think a lot of work is done.
To show speaking a little bit about the congress that you organize. How was the initial idea? What were the challenges? What
Well, we made me, Dr. Ashish, and few of our friends in 2004 started this organization called, and 2004 we started for Academy of Oral Implantology. And today, it is one of the biggest organization in Asia Pacific, absolute. And we have 300 plus like members. And every year we conduct our international congress. And this year it will be the 14th international congress. And every year, yet almost 50 to 60 international and national exhibitors, channel partners who are participating in terms of our supporters, and they bring plethora of speakers, not only national, international. And this is always a platform where the beginners, the mid-end users, the advanced users, all are beneficiaries of them. And they have a display of all the equipment under one umbrella. And I can proudly say today that people look up to AOI conferences. And I'm sure this year we'll have it in September 12th, 13th, and 14th at Limited in New Delhi. And we'll have one of the biggest target audiences this year. And I'm sure Osseotouch will do in a big way. And with Kamal,
We look at it from an industry point of view. This Congress is a launch pad for the industry for their new products. I don't know if you've seen the Kapil Sharma show. But I would encourage you to see that. Any new movies, it's an Indian show. It's a sitcom where it's actually it's a funny show. So there are several guests, and then you laugh around, and it's like a like a semi-talk musical show, much like the David Letterman show, which used to be there in the US many years ago. So lately, that show has changed as a launch pad for a lot of movies and things like that. So any new movie which is being released is actually done through that show. So I look at it from an industry point of view that the AOI meeting every year is a launch pad for the industry, because the top people from the country and internationally are all there as attending delegates for the conference. And it only makes sense for a company where they have 13, 14, 1,500 dentists who are interested in doing implantology to display their product, to launch their new technology. It just makes sense. I mean, where you have a captive audience of so many people who are wanting to imbibe this knowledge, who are wanting to see the new technology. So from an industry point of view, this is a beautiful launch pad, I would say.
And I'll add a little bit. From delegate point of view, I have been a regular attendee of AOI. The best is when when you're starting up in implantology, your pre-congress courses are focused on people who are beginners.
Specific
And
technologies.
they also have a section where you brainstorm on a particular topic, short implant versus sinus lift. It's a 10 minutes. Industry stalwart come there and they debate it out which way is better way. So these two highlights of the Congress are very unique. So something with the beginner and something people who have a lot of experience, 15, 20 years, and they also have this dilemma, which way the technology is going to shift. And this 10 minutes of debating on the stage is one of the best things that I have seen. Very healthy Congress to be. And I invite more and more people to join and be part of.
It's a lot of fun. Those 3 days are very
Enjoy
exciting.
the fun. This is
It's exciting, it's knowledge, it's fun, and it's fellowship.
You make new friends. You greet.
You dance a lot because there's also that part, the dancing part.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You meet and greet. You celebrate. Good dance. Bollywood nights.
Bollywood night.
Everything is there. So learning and with fun.
Allora, there was also Osseotouch will be always there. Last year, remember, I divided the dental space into use the mallet and not use the mallet. Okay, that's my very easy dichotomy. And then when I looked at the board of the speakers last year, I said, okay, that's the mallet, that's the mallet, that's the mallet. There was people from San Francisco, from New York, Europe. So that was. But where do you guys?
Mallet versus ultrasonic piezo as a debate topic.
Or even osteodensification. Right? So there's so many things that we can discuss. And I'm sure, I mean, things will work in somebody's hand better, and they would always be a proponent of that theory. But I mean, there's more than one way you can do a thing right. And I don't disagree with that, but this is just easier.
Yes, sir. It's just me. It makes you should write on this mallet. It makes more sense.
When I believe it's a big slogan, because that is what I say when they ask me, "What's the difference between this and this and this?" I said, "Listen, it just makes more sense. Try it and improve it."
More equipment. So you're going to reduce the equipment inventory. Like you are not going to have a different sinus lift kits. You're not going to have a piezo say. So and the best part is the tips are forever. I
Yeah.
love that part about this.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
not redoing the tips.
But were you guys expecting this success when you initially started the Congress thing?
For the Congress? Yes, of course. We had a vision. And as the captain of the ship in 2004,
Yes, of course.
I was very, very focused, and I picked up colleagues from the profession, and I said, listen, these are probably 25 years ago. We didn't know where we would be after 25 years. Like we didn't, but we wanted to pick up the people who would be potential leaders. And I think each and every board member is a leader in their field right now. And they have proven and stood the test of time and delivered. So yes, we were very confident. Yes, we will be able to do it, but there has been a lot of support from the colleagues, from our friends who have the members, and from the industry. So we cannot discount that fact. We grow together as a group. Even our lab technicians are so. All these people come together as a very cohesive and a very good group. And I speak with so many company CEOs, and they say, "Oh, please let us know the dates of the Congress. We have to budget it for this year." So they already keep this in their plan for the following year. So which is good because they have the confidence in us and we have the confidence in them. And I think we really need to thank all our members for standing by us and increasing the membership every year in numbers so that it's just the growth of the profession.
Very high quality lectures. If you go to EOA or you are coming to AOI, it's just a change of letters, but the quality of speakers are excellent.
Nah,
It's top notch. I really enjoy the course.
companies line up because companies want to be where things are happening. Okay, and that is definitely a place where things are happening in implantology. So, by the way, okay, that's also an international congress. Which are the countries that you're looking at most? Were to expand the presence of your organization?
See, as of now, we are more focused on Asia Pacific region, and because it is easier for our delegates to travel. It's not easy to travel worldwide, and there is many issues in terms of ergonomics and in terms of the speakers availability. And most today, the scenario is changing. Even the companies want to promote the region specific. They want their speakers to be region specific rather than earlier what used to happen, speaker coming from US to India. And today, I mean, we don't expect the speakers to travel and have a 12 hours flight and come to India because they know that those quality speakers are available in the vicinity. So even the companies want that, they want to groom and have the interaction with the local speakers because they can convey better. They are more connect with their local people. So we are currently looking at Asia Pacific region only, like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, UAE. All these countries we are nearby, so we are more targeted.
My point of view is if we can make it a very strong and very big society in India as an academy, we have done our job. Because I think our responsibility is towards our Indian population. See, at the end of the day, why are we doing all of this? It's not for any personal benefit. We are trying to spread the science and education so that our patients benefit. We are raising the standard. We want the best for our patients. So how can we do this? We have to educate our own dentists, our own technicians, our own hygienists, so that they form a team which can deliver the best for our patients. So I would say if we can do a great job in India, we have achieved our success. And if anybody wants to join in, you're more than welcome to collaborate. But it's all additional bonus because the more the merrier, we will get more support. But I think the prime focus should be India and it will remain India because it's our country.
Very long time. We used to go to foreign conferences and I used to get inspired by seeing good high-end work. And recently, when you compare an Indian Congress to a foreign Congress, we are right up there.
Or better.
And the digital platforms and the digital workflows have narrowed down the prosthetic edge that a foreign speaker would have. Also, you have to realize we guys work much more. We place many more implants.
The numbers are higher.
The numbers are higher. So surgical skill set that we have developed over such a long period of time is a very unique thing in India. And I still believe, and I tell my daughter, the best surgeons are the ones which are between the 45 and 55, and they should be Indian. I always say that. The best surgeons, 45 to 55, choose an Indian surgeon. He has worked the most. So, if you're looking, I think surgical skill wise, we are there. Yes, Europeans are still leading the innovation. We still back up with a lot of data. Probably in India, it might be missing, but we are catching up very fast.
You do the right work because when there is, from my experience, now I've been working in different countries in implantology for it's almost 20 years now, and not necessarily when in a country there is a boom in implantology, then the level of implantology brought to the patients raises accordingly. Okay, not necessarily. Now, without naming any country, but I could name a lot of them where they place a lot, they place a lot, they place a lot. When you look at the cases,
So quality and
it's gonna happen.
quality and quantity are two different reasons.
So what you're doing, you're making sure with this,
Both quality.
like you, definitely also other organization in India, but in India, there is this movement, there is this drive to increase the know-how as the demand increases. So that's why I'm convinced that this is going to be a major place for implantology.
And I think one shortcoming.
Yeah, by the way, when we do the international trade shows like IDS, like the IDEC in Dubai, like the Great New York Dental Meeting, the visitors from India are always the biggest number. Okay,
Fantastic.
that tells you that there is a will to
They're inquisitive. Always.
see.
Always inquisitive. Absolutely rightly said, I think. I agree with. And the number is increasing every year. Every year I
Yeah, I think
We are very open to new technology as a population, and we adopt the technology much faster. There's less resistance towards adopting something new. So, I hope that is fruitful for all new further technologies. But it's a journey, when you see your career path, it has been a journey, and it's all about in the end what is beneficial for your patient
yes.
and making good friends. I don't see. Uh, so if you make good friends in industry, like you are one of those people who have very endeared to us, but that's all about it. But I think India does have a place, does have a future in great implantology. I see younger guys doing so well, and it overwhelms me. I say, I took so many years to reach this level, and this guy has just caught up in 3 months. Yeah, 3 years. It's happening faster. And the technology is a bridging gap. So you see, remember the summers technique, and we are balloting, mallet stopping, mallet there. Now imagine somebody goes and buys a magnetic pallet, and he can do it as good as me. And that's how the technology is bridging up.
yeah.
You really hammer the patient that yeah, that time it was
No,
that.
Yeah. And that time we used to struggle to buy those mallet, bone, osteotomes, and we used to have concave ones, convex ones.
The availability was a challenge always in India till about maybe 15 years ago, where the markets have opened up and everything is available. And I think in surplus now. We have more than what we need. Coming back to your point, I think one point where I would like to make a comment for our colleagues and our friends in dentistry is the documentation. I think that is a little bit of a challenge that I see. We need to have a standardized documentation amongst all our colleagues. A lot of people get lost in the crowd. They may be doing the best work, but they don't have the documentation skills. So that's one place I think where we can do some more training.
Yes.
And some more exercises to bring it up to a good standard. It's not that they don't have the equipment. I think it's just putting the process together in your practice. And it's not only for just showcasing your cases in a conference. It also helps you in being critical towards your own work. At some point in time, you look back. We try and document every case we do, and I just look back at the end of the day or end of 2 days to see what all I have done. And then I say, okay, maybe I should have done it maybe half a millimeter more there and whatever. So this is the kind of critical um, uh, things that you look at, and I would say constructive criticism of your own work. or your colleagues, and he would tell me that, okay, so maybe a little bit over here, maybe a little deeper. Just like this morning, you showed me the case of sinus slip and said, maybe we should have used a longer implant. And he says, yeah, I agree with you. So this is what is important, because documentation, I think, is the key these days.
100%.
So this
A
is
lot
all
of people lack. I'm one of them.
this was for him. This was more for him.
And document every day.
Because he does such fantastic work, and he may just document 10% of his. This was for him. Sorry.
No, that is.
Actually, him, most of the clinicians who are doing good work, they don't document properly in India.
I really look up.
And when we go outside for international congresses and we say the same thing, he has shown one case, we do 100 cases, they have documented that one case with at least 1,000 slides, and we do 1,000 cases with one slide.
I think it's so important to document and have everything together. It takes time, I know, but I think it is important, because if you want to grow in the profession and you have to train people, I think it should be a part of the curriculum at some point.
Yes, it has to be.
It has to be, because
Because this is a habit that has to be ingrained early on. That's very important.
Okay, so I think that today we made a very good clear picture of where implantology is in India, where it's going, why it's going that way. And you all gave a lot of very good advices to your colleagues. I can't wait to see you again. And let's see what happens.
A lot of fun here talking with you. And we thank you for the opportunity to call us here. And
always a pleasure meeting you.
pleasure meeting you.
And meeting you too as well. It's a lot of fun.
And you know, surprisingly, is the first time we all three together in the same frame, talking.
Yeah.
Candidly
Candid.
and enjoying ourselves.
Thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Osseotouch. Thank you.
We do this. We do this in without cameras. We enter the. So this is the time we are in front of the cameras to discuss more. Yes.
Very good.